Hi everyone, I'm Zelda Kelly with Psychic Secrets, and today I'm here to talk to you about the events of May 5th of 2023. That is today. Now, what is going on today? Well, we've got a lot planetary-wise. We have a full moon, we have a lunar eclipse, and we also are in a Mercury retrograde. So what does all this mean? Well, I'm not an astrologer, but I will tell you that I do know enough that I've been feeling, and as many of you that are empaths, intuitives, and even Shaggy feel like there's something that's going to be happening and big, and that we are gaining momentum. This planetary aspect may make some of us want to hide. And going forward, starting today, we've got a very eventful May about to happen. You see, there's many other aspects getting ready to take place. There's actually planetary aspects that, well, no one has ever charted before. No one has ever seen before. We really don't know what to expect in some respects. In others, we do know what those planet alignments mean. Now, for those of you who say, oh, that's astrology stuff, that is hogwash. Well, let me tell you something. You know, the moon, in all respects, really affects the water. It affects the tide going in and out. We, our bodies, are at least 80% water. That's impressive, to tell you the truth. But that's why a full moon affects us. And why do all the other planets affect us? Well, you see, they have this little light particle that shines down on each and every one of us. We can't get away from it. If the sun rays catch us, so do all the other planets. We just may not see it. And it will affect us one way or another, especially this Mercury retrograde this time. Mercury is in, like I said, retrograde until the 14th of this month. Many of us have been experiencing what this retrograde is doing, and that is communication, electronic information. For me personally, it's you better follow up if you got plans. You better make sure that things are getting ready to happen the way that you want them to happen, and so on. Well, back to this planetary aspect of today and the lunar eclipse, this full moon, they both happen during what is called a Beltane. Now, most calendars will say that Beltane happens on May 1st because it's just an easy calculation for some, like Farmer's Almanac or some of the other publications. It actually happens when there is the midpoint between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. And it is at 15 degrees Taurus. So that is today. So that is, Beltane starts today. Now, what is Beltane? Well, Beltane is, well, it is a pre-Christian time in which it was originated in Great Britain, and there was a lot of celebration, and it was for procreation. A lot of fire, a lot of really celebrations and so forth. But that's not what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about how this is going to affect you. It is all of this happening, this eclipse and this full moon is happening in the sign of Scorpio. Now, Scorpio, we love you, and you're going to be really affected by this, but so are many others. If you even have a little bit of Scorpio in your chart, you may feel the intensity more so than not. Well, so what is this? A Scorpio is a sign of transformation, moving from one situation or circumstance into another. That is really something to be actually looking forward to, knowing that a situation is temporary, and even this planetary aspect is temporary. But it may make you want to hide. It may make you feel like you are in survival mode, and that's okay too. Many of us feel that way. And I'm just going to say, we're going to ride this through. We always make it through. How do I know? Well, we always do. We're all here. We make it through. This is a very interesting time globally and, well, spiritually, physically, mentally. So I'm going to say watch the world events coming around us, because with all of this happening, and especially tomorrow, is the King's coronation in Great Britain. Now, what is my opinion on that? Well, I do have an opinion, but I'm not so sure that I can share that with you, except to say this. You see, of all the things that are going on, the proclamation of the king happened during a Mercury retrograde and a void of the moon. Now we're doing a coronation tomorrow, which there is a Mercury retrograde and on the heels of a full moon and a lunar eclipse. The other thing that is happening are the Witens. Now the Witens, W-I-T-A-N, are like the wise council, and has been their Germanic background. It has been for centuries. They are considered the advisors and the council to the noblemen, the earls, the barons, the landowners, even the bishops. It's those people that you go to work things out and be appointed to certain areas and talk about land and what happens for the country. Well, very interestingly enough, the Witens have not been invited to this coronation. It's noblemen, that's the earls and the barons and so on and so forth, and the only nobleman that's going to be there pledging the allegiance to the king will be the king's son. So how that's going to be playing out, I'm not so sure. I think there's going to be some upset. There's going to be maybe some things happening, but with all of this happening, surely it is not a good thing to coronate or go through a coronation, which is a religious ceremony, during a Mercury retrograde, on the heels of all this. And I mean, you get the idea. This may not turn out very well. We'll see. That's all we can do. We'll see. So what do we do now during this time? Well, we wait. We wait and see what's happening. Now, we are getting ready to go into a Jupiter, Pluto, and Mars aspect. That is going to be very interesting. And that's going to be on the 17th of this month until about the 19th. And I'm going to push it and say until about the 21st of May. That one may be a little tense. I want you to be prepared. You see, around the world politically, a lot of things are coming out. They're being pushed to the forefront. Things that have been buried for a long time during a Mercury retrograde can and does and will come out. There's a resurfacing of many, many different things happening. This is going to be interesting, and especially for the United States. But you see, we've got banking issues. We've got all kinds of different things that are going on. This is going to be a telltale May for us. So, what do? You light a candle, you pray, you meditate, you look up, and you're thankful that you're here, because you are going to be in the middle of seeing all of this making history. And that's what it's all about. So this is going to be a little intense today. This lunar eclipse and the full moon, and especially during a Mercury retrograde, just relax. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. Don't let emotions push you. Don't let this scare you, because there's nothing to be scared about. It will be maybe intense for some people somewhere, somehow. But, you know, as far as I'm concerned, being forewarned is forearmed. Knowing what we're getting into is the most important thing that we can deal with today. You hang in there, and I'm going to do another video as we get closer to the 17th. But for now, just know that a transformation is going to be happening. And if you see any visitations, you know what I mean, or crop circles, or anything like this, don't let it surprise you. And let me know. Won't you do that? You can find me on social media as Psychic Zelda Kelly, and stop on over, have a reading with me at psychicsecrets.com. Let's talk about things. You'll get some answers. And in the meantime, thank you so much. You have a beautiful and wonderful day. And I pray that all this good times are ahead of you. Take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.